Well, Tory voters in Florida are casting their ballots today in that state's presidential primary. Among the Republicans, the polls show Mitt Romney and John McCain in a tight race for first place, with Rudy Giuliani coming in third. Democrats are also voting, but they're being punished for moving their primary up, so the National Party will not be counting their delegates.
Time now is 7:45. Mark Curtis joins us from a polling place in Oviedo, Florida. That's a suburb of Orlando. Morning, Mark.
Ross, good morning.
How big a turnout are they having? Polls been open about 5 hours now. How does it look?
Right. Well, they're expecting, again, record turnout both by mail and in person. You can see behind me here at this library here in Seminole County, some hardcore Mitt Romney supporters are out here urging people to vote for him this morning. But we've had a steady stream of cars and people walking in and out of this library for hours this morning. So it's a little hard to predict. But again, the people in Florida, like all the other states so far, expecting a record turnout today.
What issues seem to be most important to Floridians?
Well, this is fascinating, and this is the telling tale of this primary because it may spell the demise of Rudy Giuliani and the rise of Mitt Romney. I was at a Romney rally yesterday, and all he spoke of really was the economy. I was at a Giuliani rally, and they talked mostly of 9/11. Well, you look at most polls nowadays with the dropping Dow and the other problems in the economy and a looming recession and the stimulus package out there. The big issue here in Florida for everyone and elsewhere in the country, number one, is the economy, and right now that seems to be favoring Mitt Romney. At least he's the guy talking the most about it.
And if they really are thinking about security, John McCain would probably be the man.
Well, certainly in this state, Florida has a huge military infrastructure. I know everybody thinks of Florida as beaches, oranges, and Disney World, but you have to remember the United States Central Command is in Tampa. There's huge military infrastructure in Daytona Beach, Jacksonville, and then all the way across the Panhandle to Pensacola. So you also have a lot of retired military in this state. And I was at a John McCain rally last night, and it was very clear that the military folks in this state are turning out for McCain. They like his experience on military and foreign policy issues.
You know, yesterday Cindy McCain made an interesting comment, and I sometimes wonder if you clear these kind of things before you say them. She said this vote, referring to what happened in Florida, will make or break us.
Well, I think that's very candid, it's very honest, it's very true, because as much momentum as John McCain got out of New Hampshire, as much as he got out of South Carolina, the thing the McCain campaign has been lacking all along is money. I mean, you look back to last summer when he was the only guy on Capitol Hill backing President Bush and the surge. All McCain's potential donors went south, and he had nothing. And even though he's got some momentum, some big primary victories in the early stage of this game, he still does not have a lot of money. And then you're looking to California next Tuesday, New York State, and some other big primaries, 22 states in all on Super Tuesday. Where does John McCain get the money to buy all those TV ads? Some of that may come if he wins today in Florida.
Are you finding the polls are showing that it's pretty much a toss-up between McCain and Mitt Romney?
Yeah, it's fascinating, Ross. Depending on which poll you see, one I saw this morning had it McCain 33, Romney 32. I've seen each candidate up or down by 1 to 3 votes or percent, and that means it's a very tight race. I'll have to tell you something. I saw yesterday at Mitt Romney's rally. He had a rally in the airplane hangar like so many of the candidates do here. They fly in and out of town from one town to the next. As soon as Romney's folks were done, they turn around and they sat down at phone banks in the airplane hangar. They all had scripts, and they started working the phones, calling their supporters. I have never seen a campaign that well organized. Usually these rallies are very euphoric. Folks get excited. When it's over, they get in their cars and drive home. The Romney folks sat down and started dialing to get people out to the polls today. And if Mitt Romney wins Florida, I would say it's mostly because of a superior organization.
Now, the Democrats are not really paying attention to Florida because there are no delegates going to be issued, because
right.
they're in essence boycotting what's going on in Florida for moving their primary up. But what candidates seem to be most popular from the time you've been there?
Well, I'll tell you one little anecdote here. Even though I went to 4 Republican rallies yesterday, everybody at the rallies was talking about the Democratic Party and the divisions between Obama and Clinton. Having said that, you know, people here, polls showing Hillary Clinton is in. They are having a Democratic primary. They are casting votes today. The polls show her garnering perhaps 50% of the vote to 20% or 30% for Obama and 12% for John Edwards. And that, I think, is going to set the stage for this victory speech Hillary Clinton is going to make tonight in South Florida near Fort Lauderdale. The Democrats had a handshake deal that none would campaign in the state publicly, none would buy TV ads, and they've held to that. But as soon as the polls close tonight, Hillary Clinton's going to give a victory speech, which is fascinating because she's going to get absolutely no delegates. But tomorrow morning, when people open the papers across the country, they'll see the Republican winner on one side of the page and Hillary Clinton on the other, giving the clear impression that she made a huge victory in Florida. It's certainly a symbolic victory, but she gets no delegates from it.
Well, Mark, we'll talk to you once again tomorrow after all is said and done.
All right, going to be an interesting night here in Florida. We'll have all the results in the morning, Ross.
Okay, Mark Curtis live from Oviedo, Florida, right outside of Orlando. 10 minutes to 8. Back to the desk.